Welcome to episode 7 of the Green Dreams podcast. What did we do last week, guys?
So I actually, completely unrelated, but we were just talking about this. You know how I said the toilet that I have in my house is new? It's
That's
updated?
how we're starting the podcast? Let's
Dude,
go.
no, this is important. So I think a big deal of it is like the older toilets get grandfathered in. So my parents at their house, they have a toilet that flushes 5 gallons per flush.
Dude, I actually have the same toilet. It's so nice because it never floods.
It never floods. It'll always get whatever's in the toilet down. New toilets, and this was as of 1992, can't exceed 1.6 gallons per flush. So if your house has an old toilet, your house's like bathroom is worth more basically, because at least the next person has the option
of
to-
having that.
Dude, that's
So would
crazy.
you say it's a better toilet?
I think that in general,
older toilets are better.
and the reason they made the Energy Act was like, oh, we need to cut water consumption, blah blah blah. But the new toilets are just proven to like sometimes you have to flush them twice,
you know
sometimes they
what-
clog easier.
You know what's crazy is that we actually have a bottle in our toilet also, to save water, and it still flushes it like a dream, basically. So
So you have the
anyways.
old toilet,
I have 2 really old 5-gallon toilets.
and then one new one?
And then we have 2 new ones, and those are in the bedrooms. So
And I know it's a 5-gallon because one time like the
That
we
one
had
is a
couple-
5-gallon?
No, the one at my parents' is. That one's a 2 point. That one's like a 1.6, I think. Yeah, it's the minimum. I know that the one that we have at my parents' house is a 5-gallon because like one time we had to cut the water off, and to refill the toilet, I literally had to fill up a 5-gallon bucket.
5
bring
gallons.
it
I
in.
can't imagine it being 5
5 gallon, dude.
gallons. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I think it's also part of the like way the toilets are set up. It's like they're all gravity fed, obviously, but the older ones aren't as efficiently designed, so they need more water to go through the system to do the same job.
Yeah.
Versus this one's like a power toilet. It'll like suck the water out.
Got it.
Yeah, but old toilets definitely cost more because they're rare. But, yeah.
Cool. But it's like, I guess it's illegal to put them in.
Yeah, if you put I guess if you put that in and they found out, you'd probably be facing a fine or something. I'd want
it
to
might be worth
about
it.
that. It could be worth it. I mean,
Never have to worry.
water's
about
so
flooding.
cheap. I mean,
What do you mean worry about flooding? Will it
toilets
Clogging.
toilets
the toilet.
built before 1982 used between 5 to 7 gallons per flush. Yeah, it's like 5.
I mean, it's just
flushes.
water. Like, it never.
Yeah, it's just water, man.
It's just going back. We'll just reuse it.
To be honest,
Gets
I
reused.
never go number 2 in the newer toilets that we have. I always go in the 5-gallon one.
Just to say fuck you to the environment.
just to be safe.
Flush is better. I'm not. Like,
Get your shit clogging the toilet.
Well, speaking of toilets, I think all 3 of us just got back from the Jacksonville Real Estate Investors Association, and one of the topics was toilets and tenants. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that was like a common theme with the investors talking about you're either on the dealing with tenants side of the investment game or you're on the managing from afar, paying a property management company to come and take care of it.
Yeah, that's kind of like a
Push
that's
the
a big
toilets
thing.
and tenants away. But yeah, so tonight we're going to kind of talk about the Jax RIA convention, and we're definitely going to go back.
Jack's
think-
Ria main
oh,
monthly
yeah.
meeting. Yeah.
Main monthly meeting.
Yeah, I'm definitely down to go back. Kind of just 100%. Kind
So-
of talk to more people.
Yeah.
so what was it? Was basically they hold monthly meetings every month, basically. Yeah. And this time they had like 6 people on like a panel, and they had 2 panels. So they got up there, people were asking them questions. They explained how the market was going, and then they had the second panel, which was more like finance, loans, IRA type stuff. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
A bunch of money people
bunch
at
of
the convention.
yeah.
I guess I should have expected that. They're coming in kind of like selling what they do to the...
Yeah.
I don't know, what would you guys say? Average age in there was probably 45,
Yeah.
50?
I think
yes.
30,
You know, it was interesting. I'd say
High
low
30s?
30s, and then
yeah,
maybe-
it was like a big spike. I think it was like 30s and then like 60s.
And then how many do you think
Yeah.
were our age in there?
Nobody.
No one.
It was us
Actually,
3.
I
it
think
was us.
yeah, there was a few
Oh,
like
in
Who
the
was the
whole
guy you were
meeting.
talking to?
Oh, in the whole meeting.
hey, I just started to talk to I started to talk to 3 guys and they had to be in their mid 20s probably to late 20s. I actually got an email back from one of them just to say hi and stuff. I'm actually there. There's another one that I was talking to, and he's like, his job is like basically to find deals, for like
Wholesaling.
no. He buys from wholesalers actually. He finds deals
he's
for like
like-
the big companies.
Okay.
So I'm actually gonna send him so I have a listing right now up, and I started on a listing today. And I'm probably like the one I was talking to you about, Aaron, the one on Rayford.
Yeah.
It's pretty close here. It's in Murray Hill. I'll be listing that probably tomorrow. I'm gonna send those to him. Maybe he'll be
Can
interested.
you tell us the price right now?
It's 158. It's gonna, dude. I think it's a little expensive, but
What's the area?
What
and what's the square
isn't,
footage?
to be honest? What isn't?
yes, that is very
expensive?
true. That's 175 right there.
Yeah.
So 158, 500 for a 2-1. What do you guys think? It's a lot.
500 square feet.
No, 158, 500.
Oh, 158, 500.
That's
for a
the price.
How many square feet? What side of town?
Murray Hill.
Okay.
It's not. It's like. Yeah, it's in Riverside.
It's
It's not too big. It's not too big, and there's no
big
AC.
interstate, but
yeah.
It's literally
Riverside.
right by the interstate.
it's like right on the off ramp, basically.
off I-10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Murray Hill's definitely
Like there's different
say-
parts, right? There's like
yeah.
really nice parts of Murray Hill. There's like
Murray
other
Hill
parts
in
aren't too
general.
nice.
If you take Hillcrest, which is where I am, and Riverside Avondale, which is where Aaron's mom is and Aaron lives, Murray Hill's probably in the middle, but I could easily see them going to Riverside Avondale's caliber in the next 10 years.
Oh yeah, Murray Hill.
Murray Hill.
Oh yeah, because it's, to be honest, it's like a little geological location where it's right next to the really expensive Riverside. And
I guess it
Yeah.
depends, right? How much renovation they do in that area. Because like
Yeah.
some places in Riverside are really bad, right? Because they just didn't. And then obviously other places are
Yeah.
super nice, renovated, more modernized.
So what's your status on that house again? You've got it listed.
I was in the listing process.
Okay.
It doesn't take too long, but I like my partner to review it just to make sure I don't put anything wrong, and you can actually get fined for putting something wrong on the
So
MLS.
on this sale, are you guys splitting the commission 50-50?
Yep, that's exactly what we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go take some pictures this week too. We're actually also
You have to take pictures?
yeah, since it's not brand new 2020 house, like we're not putting any money. Like again, this is an investor property. This isn't. We're not trying to find the new couple that wants the brand new house, right?
You're trying to find another group of investors?
Exactly. That's probably gonna just
Okay.
use as a yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Because it needs to be. They both need to be fixed up a little bit for sure. But the owner just wants to sell them.
So what other projects are you working on right now? Do you have any? What's the status with that big 16 unit project you're working on?
Big 16 unit. I don't know if I told you guys already. So
What haven't you told the podcast?
the people from California signed the paperwork to start the due diligence period of the transaction, meaning now the current owner is going to start doing the final renovations that are listed on the contract to sell it. So including the 16 unit, there's a single family house in the front of it. And so kind of part of the contract is to make all 16 units livable, habitable, and to make the 16 unit completely renovated because it wasn't livable as well. So after that's done, should be a few weeks, a month. After that, the sale will keep going on. Right now, everything's looking on track. I actually got a call from one of the buyer's assistants yesterday. Just wanted to know more information. I got three of the vacant units rented out already. Found tenants. I moved one in last Friday. Moving one in next Friday. I'm moving two in next Friday. And yeah, when the last two need some renovations, I'm talking to the contractor and the owner to see when we're gonna get those done, so I can move two more people in.
Nice.
I just looked on you guys' website. There's a realtor for Traditions Realty named David White.
There is. It's not you.
It's my dad.
Actually-
Exactly.
I've seen the name on Park Street. for a house being sold.
Yeah, Everybody has their like you have like the tradition sign, right? But you can have like your
name
little
on top of the sign.
Yeah.
Somebody has fluent in Spanish on their profile.
Who is it?
Paul Sood. You better put fluent in Spanish too.
They probably don't. They rather don't work there anymore, or they don't come to the office very often. Not too many Spanish speakers actually in the office.
Interesting.
Speaking of selling houses, we should talk about the people across the street right now.
That's a hot topic. So right now, directly across the street from my house, and just for reference, my house is a 1,040 square foot 3-1 that I purchased about 6 months ago, and it's in the $130,000 range when I bought it. The house across the street from mine has a renovation on it that connects the kitchen to an extended outdoor space, freeing up some square footage. And I'm not exactly sure if the square footage on Zillow is correct, but I think it's somewhere. It's definitely a little bit bigger than my house, maybe by 50 square feet.
For sure.
And it currently is listed on Zillow for $175,000. What do you guys think about that?
That's pretty insane. Definitely looking at the pictures, Aaron. I don't know if you've seen the pictures.
I actually have not seen the pictures.
Kind of want to show you the pictures.
Let me look it up.
What's the address again? 5045, right?
5245. 5245 Zillow. But I think the thing we really wanted to talk about was the people just hanging out in front of the house. I don't know.
That's really weird.
There's a family of, it looks like 6 people that I saw going in and out of the house yesterday. And if I look out this window in front of me right now, I think they're still out there. Maybe they just left. And I walked by and asked, "Are you guys moving in?" And they said no.
Yeah.
What is that? Like,
So what exactly
I can't
does that
believe they
mean?
said no.
What does that mean? Steven, would you recommend that we tell the owner?
That's you could call the real estate agent.
So
and
that would be the
they're
I have it. I have it, Steve.
You have
I
it?
found it. Yeah.
And see kind of maybe what is up, because I mean, right, we don't know, right? We have no idea. Are they supposed to be there? Are they not supposed to be there?
It looks nice.
Again, like being like there's a huge housing shortage in Jacksonville right now. So you never know what people are trying to do.
Yeah. The kitchen is really nice in the picture.
Yeah,
I mean, I know that
it's great. Like it's definitely like there's definitely renovations to make it more expensive than your house, but
wow, look at the backyard even
more.
is so like closed in and like secret. They have a nice shed in the back.
Just like, oh my gosh, like even just like the picture, like this looks so much bigger. But so they also ripped this off as well. There's not this.
Yeah.
So
I think our houses are so similarly built. When they built both of these houses, it was on the same blueprint.
It looks the exact same.
The floors are so.
it's the exact same.
Really
They
exact same.
that's crazy.
The floors are so nice like that. You guys think I should take out my carpet?
Do the floors underneath
Yes,
look
no,
like that?
100%.
The
I
floors are
think
good.
hardwood
Yeah.
looks
Yeah.
way nicer.
100%. Take it out.
Maybe it'd make my house cooler too, like not as hot.
I'm baffled on. I think they did a really good job of renovating the house across the street. Like they completely ripped this wall off. Like it's so
The
it looks so
backsplash
good.
looks so nice.
They really make
That
it
counters actual marble, or at least not as cheesy looking as mine. But what the crazy thing is, this house.
Wait, their fridge is right here.
Yeah.
So they took out.
Holy
Unfortunately, the people listening can't really visualize this at all. But they took out a whole wall and they made it like an. I don't know if they made it an open concept. They just made a doorway bigger.
Let's see the difference I'd be looking at if I was to get a mortgage at the same rate, but for $175K.
For 30 or 15?
For a 15. I'm gonna just do everything similar.
Are you doing that just on Zillow?
I'm doing it on bankrate.com.
Okay.
I've used them before.
Gee.
175 on the full price of the house.
They have the hardwood area on
Let's
the
say
whole.
I put down 20
house.
grand and I had done a 15-year, and I think the rate I got was a 2.75. Just kind of bragging to all the listeners out there.
2.7. We really got 2. Yeah. I guess.
2.75.
Wow. So even with putting 20% down, instead of my monthly payment being $700, my mortgage would be $1,130.
I mean, yeah, it's $50,000
doable,
more.
but I mean,
55.
50 grand more house. That's what it's going to cost you. I mean, this house. What do you think's a better deal? That house for 175 or this house for 129.9?
This house for 129.9 for sure. You can definitely do. I think you could do.
You could
those
do
renovations
all that for
cheaper.
less than 45 grand for sure.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
How did you see the bathroom too? It's pretty different.
What about a $300,000 house? This has me interested to see how much house I could afford.
Just $300,000 house is
You're just looking at how high you can go.
let me go and like my stance on this, and I definitely owe this a lot to Aaron and Steven. If I could go back in time, I would not have done a 15-year. I think that's definitely
Yes, and like it's an interesting thing because like, well, like
So-
Dave Ramsey would tell you that's wrong, right?
Yeah, so a 15-year is good if you're living
You want
in
to just pay it
for-
off. Yeah, you're living it. You want to pay it off.
Yeah.
But then again, like, what could you do with that
And if,
extra money?
If you want to do an investment strategy, then you would go 30-year. Just because all the difference between a 15 and a 30, you can get
Like
way
think about
more
it with
out
a
of-
2.75 interest rate. Like
this is crazy.
you can like invest that money in something else.
Yeah, and
For sure.
the extra that you would pay on the 15 versus the 30, that difference you can put it in. You can save it up for another house, basically.
Yeah, that's exactly.
But-
So here's the math. Let's say I had done a $300,000 house, which could have been a house on the south side, maybe equal square foot. Well, a house in a good area on the south side. If I had done a 30-year, I would have only been able to put 10% down because that's still 30 grand. But on that same interest rate, I would have gotten it'd be $1,400 a month versus $700 a month that I'm paying right now.
That's for a 15-year, right?
That's for a 30-year.
For a 30-year, 300,000.
And if you were to do a
That's
15-year,
that's putting 10% down.
yeah.
That's $300. I mean, $300,000. So
Well, I want to see if I was willing to pay $700 a month. Like, let's say that was my set amount I could pay each month. How much house could I afford on a 30-year with 20% down? Could I do $200K in house?
I mean, how much?
Realistically, if I
but
could go back
that's
in
for a
time,
30-year.
this may have been what I have done. So let's say $200,000 house.
Steven.
If I had 40K to put down, let's say 30-year, 3%. It's crazy. I could have got a $200,000 house, putting 20% down on a 30-year for $870 a month. Versus if I was to do a 15-year, that would jump up to $1,300. So I could have just, like you guys said, invested that difference, which is about $430 a month, into a brokerage account each month, kind of like paying myself that difference in mortgage.
And
that would hopefully far surpass the interest.
yeah,
I would
that's
incur.
that's
So that's
what
the main message. I know it's
Yeah.
a roundabout way to get
100%.
that's why all the financial or investment people say 30 years is usually better when you're going as an
investment strategy.
Yeah, investment strategy, not like as a live in. If it's like by all means pay it off early because you don't want to be worried about paying it off 30 years down the road if you're living in that house to like build a family and things
Right.
like that.
But the crazy thing is, like, I don't know if anybody. I'll use like one of my coworkers for example. If we look at the monthly rent she pays,
Isn't that crazy? Let's
this
get
is gonna
another
get
whole
crazy.
ball game.
This is gonna
That's
get
like
crazy. So she pays $1,550 a month for a 1,800 square foot apartment in Mandarin.
How many bedrooms and bath?
I think it's a 3-2.
Wait, how much a month?
$1,550.
Okay.
$1,550 a month. How much
Just for
house
himself?
could you get just for her and her 4 kids that live with her?
Okay.
It's a her. So let's see how much house she could afford because she's actually looking at buying a house. She can't get it right now because she has so much debt that the bank is saying, oh, we don't like your debt to income ratio. And she wants to get some of the car loans she has out of her name to kind of free that up. But let's see how much house she could afford. She could easily afford, instead of paying $1,550 a month, I don't even think that covers utilities. That's just the flat rent. she could easily afford with let's say a minimal 3%. Is that the lowest you can go on a down payment?
3.5 if it's FHA.
3.5. So that's about $7,000 on a $200,000 loan on a 30-year with a 3% interest rate. Just say that.
Yeah.
3.5.
That's only
yeah.
$1,000 a month. That's only so. How much more could she go? She could go up to. Let's see if she could afford a $250,000.
Well, you have to.
house.
So if it's an FHA, you're not counting like the PMI and stuff. That's gonna be.
Yeah, I'm not counting the PMI.
Yeah.
Wow. Even.
But like that's not bad. Yeah, 1,200 plus PMI. That's kind of.
She could afford for $1,550 a month. She could afford a $300,000 house.
Exactly.
No,
But,
yeah, 100%.
okay,
Like
Isn't that crazy?
I'd say a little bit less than that because
Okay,
you gotta,
let's say
yeah,
let's say
a little
275.
bit less than that.
Yeah.
But like,
275. So
just
if-
because of
100%.
the expenses that come up.
She could be paying down a house right
capital
now
stuff.
instead of paying rent.
Absolutely. And you go 275. Now's definitely not the most favorable time to buy. But with 275, if you had to buy right now, she could put herself in
Decent place.
Avondale she could put herself in.
I go to Southside or Arlington.
Yeah, I would probably go Southside as well. Let's see what she could get. But that's crazy. 1,550. She's in a situation where if she doesn't free up her debt to income ratio by December 10th or something, she has to renew her lease. So she wants to rush it and hopefully get a car loan out of her name. She's thinking about taking out another personal loan to null out one of the car loans. That's not really going to decrease her total
It's still
debt
gonna
burden.
that's still gonna come up on unless
Right.
she's like consolidating. How many cars does she have?
2.
Okay, so if she wants to consolidate that, then maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Guys, this is crazy. She could get a.
what car loans are usually more interest than like normal like credit
Yeah,
lines,
and her
right?
her interest.
Yeah,
is-
that's true.
Look at this, you
That might
guys.
help her.
Look at this house. This is about 2,000 square feet. This is on the south side. It's kind of near Phillips Highway area. It's kind of over by LA Fitness. 2,000 square feet. Nice brick house. What is she doing? Is the
People
question.
don't know.
What is she doing?
People don't know, right?
People, yeah.
It's like they don't understand.
It's the same amount of money.
People don't understand the
Yeah.
power of like principal pay down. Like
Yeah.
Plus, how they leverage your interest because
And this is a house that maybe 6 months ago costed $240. I don't know.
yeah, I know.
Even with it being this hot right now,
It's insane.
it's crazy. But what I kind of wanted to get back into with this whole like mortgage breakdown was, do you guys remember how in the convention they were talking about months of inventory?
Yes.
yeah.
So
So you want to? So I kind of want to show
So
you.
explain
Steven,
it. Explain.
break down that for us, please.
Yeah.
So
Explain what it was back in 2008. Also, this is all according to the Jacksonville Steven,
I hope you took
property
notes.
management.
dang, you're like testing
Oh, you
me.
need my password, dude. Now I'm just browsing Zillow to see what I could get for $300K.
That is a bad.
And
So,
here's
guys, so
here's
look at this. This is every house on the MLS residential.
Dang.
There's
Can you get us links to that?
no 2,626.
2,626 in the Jacksonville market, is it?
And then yeah,
Wasn't it just 2,700? Like at the time of the real estate convention?
I think.
Was he rounding up, probably?
I think he was rounding.
It goes up and down,
Dude,
throughout the week.
dude. And it's
But-
about to be 2,625 when that house over there sells. Aaron, that's
Yeah.
what I'm doing. I'm just browsing Zillow for $300K houses.
It's so fun to just browse, but no, yeah, it is pretty insane. There's usually what is it? I think you said right, 8,000 houses, 8,000 to 10,000 houses, like in a regular market.
Yeah.
6 months of inventory is average. Right now we have 1 month, a little bit less
Yeah.
than 1 month.
Okay, so in 2008, they had 16 months of inventory, or they had almost a year. Let's say a year of inventory, but I think the prices were like through the roof. So it was a hot market. I think that's what made the housing market crash. Where they had so much inventory, and then
Did they have that much inventory before the crash or after the crash or both?
I think it was before. It was 2006 actually. So in 2006, this guy said they had almost 16 months of inventory.
Because
you have to keep
at
in
that
mind-
time they were building a lot.
You have to keep in mind that 16 months of inventory was not inventory evaluated at 3,500 sales per month. Back then, it was like 1,200 sales per month. So 16 months in that case really just means like around 16,000 total houses on the market. It doesn't mean 48,000.
Still kind of crazy.
Because it like month to month, it changes what they view as a month of inventory.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
So
Like
it'll
right
fluctuate.
now, there's less houses, but more are being bought than usual.
Right? Supply and demand. I mean,
yeah, it's insane.
I think out of the whole like meeting, the one thing I took out of it is that everybody that like knows stuff, and really what I took out of it was that real estate is so like everybody has an opinion on it, but you're not really going to get any better of an opinion than you will from the direct investors themselves. And if the direct investors are saying, yeah, we really don't care, we view it from supply and demand, we think it's still going to go up, I'm sold on that.
Yeah.
I used to think that Steven's career path was like being a realtor. Oh, that's going to be so, he could hit it big or he could just completely crash because the market's going to crash. But being in a room full of investors, like I've never been more confident in the real estate market. Like I'll say it on this channel right now. I don't think the real estate market's going to crash for 2 more years. 2 more years, potentially 3 more years.
Yeah, it's like crazy.
I think the dollar will crash before that. That's just me.
Yeah. So, and that's why all of them were so confident because of the supply and demand.
So it's kind of interesting. So do you think like in 2006, 2007, do you think during the Jax RIA, did you think people like what did you think people were saying?
I don't even know if they were like had the time to show up to this meeting. They were probably like, screw real estate. Yeah. We don't even want a part of it. Like,
no,
I'm sure there were some smart people
right before the crash.
So 2006. Right before the crash.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So like prices were all time highs.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
so like, because like people,
I think that there were more investors than ever because everybody thought they knew how real estate worked, and they were like, oh, I can take out another loan on top of my house and use my house as an ATM. I'm going to buy another house because real estate's going through the roof.
I think
that could be what people are doing. Right. We could be in that same situation right now. I don't think so, but
we're not, right? Because the supply at that time was so high, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of the point proving it. But it's like kind of interesting. Why didn't more people catch it? I guess it could be because we are more aware now after something so crazy happened. Yeah. But it is interesting. Like maybe they're wrong. Like kind of playing the devil's advocate.
Could be. I mean, in the same way that. Who's to say more supply than ever caused a crash? Who's to say that less supply than ever causes going up for the next 3 years? Like, let's just pretend like the next 3 years straight, houses return 7% annually. My house is worth 100 and 200 and something in 3 years from now. Who's to say we're only at the bottom of the curve? I mean,
you never know because
you don't know, but.
Crazy.
I think that the reason the crash was such a blindsiding thing was because you had so many people jumping in the real estate game that didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, so
uneducated,
unprotected. What do you call it? People taking loans out. So it's like banks were giving loans out to anyone.
So do you kind of think like because of COVID and people trying to find different ways to make money, do you think more people are trying to become like that investor again? Like, so obviously it's harder to get a loan because banks are a lot more strict now, but still maybe more people are like seeing, oh, the market's so hot, investing is so hot right now.
I think right now the popularity for Bitcoin definitely surpasses the real estate hype, but I do think the real estate hype is there.
To tell you the truth, I think real estate is getting very popular right now.
I think it is. I mean, I think Bitcoin has a bad taste in everyone's mouth right now.
I think it's both. Yeah, Bitcoin was the hype probably like
a few months ago. It could be. I mean, I see.
Oh yeah, like they're both super popular, but like just seeing like and again like obviously my YouTube recommended and like other social streams is like super big into real estate, but. Like I'm seeing like a few million views on some of these videos, so it's like again, like I'm not the only one that's looking at like.
Oh, so you're kind of going off the. Okay, I see what you're doing.
You know, like I'm not the only one that's like I want to be this big shot real estate investor. You know, there's a lot of other people who do. But so kind of going into, I tell you the truth, before the podcast, right? I mean, not the pod. Before the monthly meeting, I didn't think much of flipping because I always thought about the long term the long term effects of real estate, right? You want to save, so like depreciation and everything else increases the value of like your property, right? But at the same time, flipping could fund your real estate investments, right? Like will you make will you make less money than you will in 10 years flipping a house? Yes, but you're gonna get, if you get $20,000 in a few months of work, $30,000 in a few months of work, that's great as well, you know? Like if you can do that plus invest and like hold some properties on the side as well, like I think you're getting the best of both worlds.
Oh yeah.
And like I think a lot of investors that do both are really good at like calculating what house is going to be a good investment strategy and which one isn't.
They're good at finding deals too. It's like
100%.
Because they learn how to do that when they're trying to flip, and then they later on when they're trying to find rental houses, it's basically the same premise.
Yeah,
so,
I was watching a YouTube channel called Austin Flippers, right? And they usually flip all their houses in Austin, but they actually got a house. They bought a house like 2 hours away from Austin, right, where the rental market was a lot better, right? More rural town, probably more trades and stuff. So like they decided like that market, like no way, we're gonna hold this one. We're gonna hold this one, rent it out $1,200-$1,500 a month, you know, and like that's your again like get the best of both worlds, you know.
I think, and the thing I'm most jealous about of the flippers that can turn around and dual rent, dual flip, they're definitely the successful ones, right? Like if they own 4 houses already, and when they purchase a house, they have full intention to rent it out, then flipping, like let's say they put the work in to renovate it, in their eyes, it's just going to be a return over the long run. They're going to rent it out for more. And they know that going into this, there's a possibility that after we finish renovating it, we could sell it for $50K above.
So yeah, it's all about Ryan Pineda was talking about this multiple exit strategies.
Exactly.
Because you could completely go into a house. It's like, okay, I can see this as a good flip. They do it. They do the renovations. They're like, oh wait, now the market's not so hot anymore. It's like, okay, let's turn around and make this a rental.
Yeah, hold it for.
Hold it. Put a rental in it.
Now, what if you do the whole trifecta? Wholesaling, flipping, and investing.
Jeez.
You get
then
that,
you know all of it.
But that's the thing, because like when you're talking about multiple exit strategies, these flippers that have a couple houses already, like let's say 4, 5, 6, they're not worried at all. They don't care. They know that, let's say they renovate the house for $50K, and then the house turns around only being able to sell for $40K more. They're not worried. They didn't actually have to choose that exit. They can just rent it out. I mean, they don't really care. They don't care. For us, we care
crazy.
Because we want to do it knowing what we're going to get.
I think it's so interesting, like being brand new to like real estate and like being 10 years in the business, like it's you just see it so differently. Like I bet Cameron and all like the other flippers and like they've had that fail, like, oh shit, like what are we gonna do? Like we can't get the price that we're going for. We're not gonna meet the price that we need. So it's like I can't imagine having that stress on you.
Oh my!
And like
gosh.
having to like create a whole new plan. And there's so many different ways to like make your money back. Like I swear I learn something new in Bigger Pockets every day. Like a new person just doing something different.
Oh yeah. But
like different types of loans, like different investment strategies. If the rental, if one rental isn't giving you enough money, you can turn it into student rental, you know, rent out every room. Like just always something new.
And plus, speaking of loans, the guy that at the meeting on Tuesdays, it's like the coffee meeting. John, you don't know about this, but he gave us a list of loans that are possible. Like,
yes. Like, so it was really cool, right? Because he deals with a lot of investors.
He's a mortgage broker.
Yeah. So and it was pretty cool because he had some pretty flexible loans. Like he
Like,
he
what were
had
some of them?
There's
Like-
a 40-year interest only loan.
Really?
Yeah.
and then so there was
What?
other ones that like it's like no questions asked, but like 6% interest.
Like,
Like
just pay the interest? You just pay the interest?
yeah,
or-
like what do you?
No, so on the
like
40
about
like
the
like
interest
on
only.
so
on
the
the
40
mortgage.
40-year
I'm
interest.
actually I didn't read too much about the 41.
So I asked them, it's like the 40-year interest only loan. Basically, you're only paying interest for 40 years. However, at the end of the 40 years, you don't pay off your house. You got to pay it off in full, basically.
Whoa.
So
You
yeah.
got 40 years to stockpile that lump sum?
Yeah, basically.
Wow.
So
you
you're only
have
paying
to-
on the interest.
But
So-
in
so
40
the
years, who
goal-
gives a shit? Money's not going to be worth
So
anything
the goal
in
would be
40
kind of to
years,
sell the house
let alone 2 years.
in like 40 years, 30 years to have
I
that
mean,
money.
or less than that. If so, yeah.
Because wait, so you're just paying the interest. So say you got a $200,000 loan.
Yes.
So you would pay that 6% every month.
Every year. Yeah.
Just like is it one lump sum? a
I mean,
year,
like-
or is it every month?
6% a year. Divide that by 12. Your effective rate is you paying that every month.
So like
But,
$1,200 a month. no.
I'm guessing on a, let's say, like a $200,000 house, 6%. What is
Interest.
that?
So you're looking
And,
at
it's only interest. So
So
12K.
12,000 divided by 1,000 a month.
basically,
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1,000 a month.
so
And then after
that 40 years, you
you pay
take
that for 40 years?
40 years. Yeah, that's what it said. And that's what I was asking him about. It's like,
Yeah,
wait,
it
is this
said it on
actual?
the
Is this
paper.
is this a thing?
Yeah.
He's like,
Papers
yeah.
we got handed out?
No,
No,
this was
no.
at
Okay.
the Tuesday meeting. He gave us.
Let's
coffee
definitely let's
meeting.
hit on this.
But
Let's just make this.
do I have
let's
the
talk about
paper? I
loans.
forgot. I think I have to go. I don't know if I took a picture of it.
I think this is definitely something I know a person that we should have on the show to go and talk about loans.
But it was also pretty cool. He had other loans. Like say
Yeah,
you're
there's probably better loans
you're
than
looking
that 40-year one.
for a loan, right? And say you don't have good credit, you don't have the right job to qualify.
You're going to be paying a premium for that
yeah,
loan.
but like I'm surprised they have loans like that.
what
You
do you
are
th-
paying more.
I think it's very hard. FHA loans are definitely ranked among like the top as far as like the opportunity it affords you for the cost that it
100%.
hits you.
'Cause
But I
they're
think
technically
even
not-
better,
What?
VA
Oh,
loan.
100%,
VA
right?
loan. VA loan. You
It's like-
hear so many people say, "Oh, I can't afford this house, but my boyfriend has a VA loan open, so we can put 0% down on the house." I'm not exactly sure if I'm 100% accurate on this, but to my understanding, avoid PMI and still get a super low interest rate that's sometimes even lower than a 15-year interest rate.
So that's like a co-signing. So they're co-signing on
Yeah.
the loan. So okay.
Well, what do you avoid PMI?
With a VA loan,
With the VA loan,
I think, let's see. Let's see.
No,
Quick search.
I don't know.
Does a
I think
VA loan
so.
avoid
I think
PMI?
there's no PMI, but there is still
Do not
insurance.
require private mortgage insurance.
All right, there it is.
See,
I think
you
there's
need
some.
to join
I think
military.
I think
Heard-
there's some type
heard-
of insurance.
heard
so
from
that you
here
have to
Steven,
pay.
so your brother Aaron, he's got access
yeah,
to a VA
no,
loan.
100%.
Okay, so Steven was talking to me about
That's crazy.
Yes.
And PMI is a big deal. PMI is a big deal. That's the whole
Oh.
reason I put 20% down.
yes, yeah. My brother's in the military and he's talking about a VA loan. So
100%.
yeah,
That's awesome.
One of
Let's
those
title
things-
this episode "Going into Debt"
Yeah,
because
that's
that's what we want to do, isn't it?
Yeah, basically go into debt and then sustain ourselves where we can pay off the debt. Basically,
I want to get some more research about this 40-year option.
so a 40-year. This is from the Lending Tree. A 40-year mortgage is a home loan that with a more extended payment term than the standard 15 or 30. Obviously, the monthly payment on a 40-year mortgage are typically lower when it compared with a short-term loan. Is this a this is just a 40-year mortgage. Hold on. I'm looking for a 40-year.
So the crazy
That
thing
is
about
crazy.
the 40-year loan that I'm hearing about is you're talking about you're just paying that 6% interest annualized out to a year divided by 12. You're paying that for 40 years straight, which is 480 months. And then on that 480th month, you're paying the lump sum of the house, right?
Basically.
So for a $200,000 house, over the course of that 40 years, you just paid $480,000 in interest.
That's a lot.
Plus, but hold on, don't want that scary. Don't want that scary because you're talking about that was 40 years worth of renting. That was 40 years worth of appreciation.
Yeah.
That was 40 years worth of who knows? You maybe sold that house.
But
in
then,
year
like,
3,
but think about it. If it's a $200,000 house, how much more rent are you getting for that?
I think it's more so how much rent you're getting and you're putting into another asset. It's just the compounding nature of it.
So the thing that struck me was that the strategy with that 40-year interest only, because I'm thinking, so John, if you on this house, right? This house is worth what did you pay for it?
129.9.
129, so 130. If you got a 40-year interest only, what's your payment?
Let's see.
40-year
interest only, you're looking at you said 6%?
Wait, what's the
6%
I don't
interest
think,
per year.
I don't.
Let's do the math. Because the way I'm breaking it up right now looks like it'd be $650 a month, and then on month.
Is that right? I don't know if that's right.
I don't know if it's 6%.
Well, this isn't anything new. We do math wrong all the time here
True.
on the podcast. So
Yeah,
this is the best part of the podcast.
Whatever the interest is, I'm thinking it's like maybe like 5 or even maybe 6%. Like to be honest, I wouldn't hold it. The strategy would be to buy this house, right? Interest only, 40-year. Your payments are going to be low. And then
650.
maybe you decide to fix it up, sell it in 2
I don't know,
years.
Guys,
I think,
okay, I got the solution.
I think an FHA is better at a 2.75.
It might be,
I got
but-
the
Interest
answer right here,
rate.
guys.
I think interest has a lot.
But
to
then
do with it.
again, it's all about what type of loan
I'll
you
do it
can
on my
get.
house right here.
So if you already bought one house,
yes.
right? You're pretty limited in the FHA because you already use your FHA.
Oh, what does this mean? What is the
um,
interest only period?
First loan. So,
Not if you refinance it. Hey.
oh,
I don't
there you go.
Understand
So-
this. You know what, Aaron? I think you're right.
It's a 3.25%. Right.
I think you're right because it looks like they're just adding up,
They're just doing it's interest only. You just add 10
and then
years,
you add the balance of the house
and it's
onto that
still
last
a
one.
3.25% interest rate. It's so your payments are ridiculously
Yeah, I'm looking
low.
at $400 a month
$400 a month for what?
for my house. I put that in as 129.9 for a 15-year.
Now, granted, to be honest, if I was going to keep this for more than 5 years, I would refinance it. Get out of that 40-year loan as
Yeah.
fast as
Yes.
possible, because
Get
you
that
want
interest rate
you want to be
down.
paying off the house. Like that's how you build wealth long term.
I don't know. Do you want to be paying off the house? Because,
Yes.
But the thing is, like, if you can better deploy that capital in another house, let's say that one house's loan is costing you 4% per year, but if you can put that money into a stock or another house that returns you 7% a year, you'd be insane to pay off the 4% per year house.
Well, I think you have to remember, like,
But then you're not-
principal pay down is pretty, like, 100%. Like, you should.
I'd say just do the
Pretty
math.
good.
I mean, if you
Yeah.
can make more than you can save, then why would you ever try to save anything? Like, theoretically,
Well, so you don't
the
crash
reason-
and burn,
yeah,
right?
So when everything goes to shit, that's
Yeah,
that's
you wanna
basically when
have
you
yeah,
that.
I mean, you definitely get the peace of mind when you cut down your costs, but if we're talking from like an investment context,
Can I have the water? Yeah.
Yeah. But
Here's-
that's true.
Sorry.
It would be.
know
I
what
would
you
say
meant.
it's, I would say it's definitely situational too. Like if you
yeah,
already
you
carry a
definitely-
ton of debt and
and-
that's crippling you to get other loans, then yeah, pay down
Yes.
principal.
because you never want to be like really close.
If you-
know.
I mean, like, yeah.
You're-
If
What
you're
I feel like I've heard a lot of investment YouTubers say like what's their cap on like their debt to income ratio on like their investment properties, but I forget because like
yeah, I
like
have
it's
no idea,
it's I mean it's like you don't want to be owing like a few like say $2 million in debt, but be like and have like 2.1 in assets, you know.
So yeah, so like you don't want to be completely.
Because if you get screwed, man, you can get screwed
Yeah,
hard.
if you have 2.1 million and you're not paying it off at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's like, what are you gonna
That's-
do? So yeah, and then you're basically counting on appreciation
But John, I really
and extra
think
cash flow.
you could
only.
get an FHA loan, live in another house with an FHA loan, put 3.5% down at like a 2.75 interest rate, rent it, then so refinance this one for a 30-year and rent it out. And
I did the math to refinancing this house to a 30-year at current rates, and it would save me about $220 a month. But I'm looking at $5,000 in fees.
Yep. So
Due up.
Yeah.
so how would you do
expensive.
if you put that into the loan?
How that $5,000
Yeah.
roll that $5,000 into the loan?
Yeah, that's what I would do.
I think I'd end up saving about maybe 190 a month. I'd end up saving 190 a month. I don't know if that's worth the whole refinancing.
So how much you pay right now a month?
For the principal and interest, $706 a month. And
That's
a
actually
15-year on a good interest rate.
That's
that I paid
actually
for.
you can still get more for rent for sure. I think this house could be
Yeah, definitely. I think I could
rented
get
out for what do you think you rent this house for?
1,100.
1,100 maybe. What would you say? 1,000 plus utilities?
Okay, if you tear up this carpet, you could definitely get like 1,100 out of it.
I agree, but like not including like they pay their own
And that's
water and
half.
electricity.
I would say that's half because I bought at a good time.
Mm-hmm.
It's half because the house already is, it's not in a terrible area. I mean, it'd probably be a family of 4 that moves in here. I mean,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I could probably get a 1050, 1,100. I mean,
I think you get possibly 12.
before I can rent this thing out, though, I'd probably have to get the AC fixed. I mean,
You'd have to probably spend almost, I think, like $8,000 just to
you wanna
fix
be-
it up.
Yeah,
Really?
the AC. That was the quote that I got.
I don't think
AC.
you need to fix the AC.
Who would pay the utilities? Renters, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
And
well,
at this market, man, I am telling you that could totally work. 100%. And if you wanted to go the Section 8 route, possibly safer, possibly not.
did you guys know there's 50-year mortgages?
I mean, you can just
just look
there's
up
banks
60
that do
years.
anything,
8,
right?
100,
I was
90 years.
I was watching
there was this. Okay, go ahead, Steven.
I was watching one of the Bigger Pockets podcasts, and like you can find 0% down, including renovations in like the middle of nowhere credit unions, so like there's always these crazy types of loans, but you gotta like I think 60 years, it's like you're gonna die before that loan.
Whoa!
Is like,
To lower monthly payments, longer-term mortgages have been introduced in Europe and in Japan, where in 1995, 100-year mortgages were first made available. 100 years.
I mean, that's
how
just-
much of a hassle is that on the paperwork side? These people are going to die,
Yeah.
and you're going to have to
How would you
hassle.
You would have to keep that on the books for 100 years.
100 years.
That's
Oh my God.
that's too much. Like, what were you gonna say, Aaron?
Your systems better be down.
If- That's too much.
Yeah. So I was reading a book. I can't remember, but it was like a lease. Or I think it was it was definitely a lease payment or like something along the lines of payments of over 100 years. It was like a 150-year contract basically, and yeah, so they definitely exist, but that was in like the corporate
That's crazy, man.
corporate
That's
world.
just bullshit. I think you need to do a whole you need to do a whole closing for a refinance. That makes no sense at all. Like, what do you need to find? Like, you already did the title. You already did everything with the title when you bought the house. Why do you need to do it all over again and pay the same amount in closing costs to do a refinance? That makes no sense.
Because the law says so.
Isn't that insane?
I just love how in today's culture, everybody's like, instead of the go-to is they have a bunch of debt. Instead of sucking it up, biting the bullet, and saving, they're like, I'm just gonna refinance.
Oh, that's what
That's what all my coworkers.
it's
do.
funny. It's like we talk about refinancing to buy other houses. Most people refinance to renovate the kitchen, to go on a trip, to buy the boat, to buy the car. It's kinda
Okay,
funny.
the cost to refinance. We on air?
Yeah. So
Introduce us back in.
so we have decided to analyze a property on
Here.
Yeah, on here.
Deal deep dive.
We got nothing better to do, do we?
Yeah, not really.
No, I think this is really cool. I think we should do this
So
all the time.
we're gonna do the property across the street. It's going for $175, Oh no, I wish.
If that's the case, I'll offer over market.
$175,000.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm putting 175 purchase price, 3.5% down, 0 renovation cost, closing cost 4%, and interest rate 2.75, the 30 years to pay off. I'm gonna put rent at 1,100.
I'm going
Here's
to
what
put
you're looking
3% interest rate actually because it's better to be safe than
For
sorry.
anybody that doesn't know the fees that go into refinancing,
Yeah,
it looks like you're looking at up to $500 just for the application fee.
500.
You're looking
Isn't
at
that sad? Like,
you're looking up the origination fee is 1.5% of the loan amount.
that's crazy.
You're looking at $50 for the credit report fee.
Like,
And
how
obviously
hard
this
is
could
it to
vary.
do that, man?
The home appraisal, you got to get a home appraisal. It's $400 on average. You got to get a home inspection. It's $500 on average. You got to get a flood certification fee if you're in a flood zone. Title search and insurance fee. That's $400 to $900 just for that. Recording fee can be anywhere from $225 to $250. Reconveyance fee is $50 to $65. So it's safe to say a refinance is going to cost you 3 to 4%.
Yeah, my
Up to 5% potentially.
So my dad just he just finished doing all that. I think he paid 7,000 in closing costs.
7,000. What's the value of the house?
7,000? Holy! Did he roll that over into
Probably
the
rolled
value?
it into Most people do. I mean, who has $7,000 just saved up? I mean,
But
the whole reason
he's
you're refinancing.
He's refinancing a 15-year, and because he bought it in like
He
2013.
refinanced it from a 30 to a 15.
Yes, because
Okay.
because literally with such a low interest rate right now, he's gonna be paying. Like I told these guys before, I think like less than $100 more a month. More.
Whoa! To cut that loan in half.
Cut that loan in half.
And the whole reason, see, the math I would have done if I was in his spot is I would have said, okay, I want to pay off the house faster.
Yeah,
But I want to maximize. I want to take advantage of the lowest interest rate possible. So he could have chosen to just double up on his payments every month. But I'm guessing he did the math and said it'd be cheaper for me to cut it to a 15, pay on that rate.
Oh, 100%.
It'd just be cheaper that way.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, the
yeah.
interest rate
if
from
you're
like
on a
4,
30 year,
he was like on a 4.3.
yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah, if you're on a 30 year, there's nothing saying you have to pay it off in 30 years. You can pay it off in 16 years, 15 years. I think you might get into trouble if you try to pay it off in like 3 years. There's an early closeout fee. I know there's something like that, but yeah. Anyways,
No,
like
I think the 15-year. Like again, he's not trying to invest like that. So definitely, it's kind of funny, but like
Steven, you should have told him to like, okay, let's throw the extra money into a brokerage account. And then
yeah,
take the lump sum,
but it's like, but
So back to the
yeah, let's go back to the. So
analysis.
are you doing any like maintenance expenses, management expenses? You put in?
I usually do 5%.
I put 3% for maintenance.
Really? Okay, so I do 5% maintenance, repairs and maintenance, 5% vacancy, 10% for capital expenditures,
I did 5% for vacancy.
10% for management fee.
So I did 0% for management because I know
So
you're supposed to add it.
So,
I know you're
I
supposed
always
to.
add the 10% because there's always going to be a point
That is
when
true.
you do not want to deal with the property and you got to hire a property manager.
How about- That's true.
Steven, bite the bullet. Put that 10%.
I want to.
So,
Hey, I know
insurance.
property managers that are
One
pretty
thing,
good.
one thing that I don't understand or I can never get right is the insurance.
So here it says 1,128 for insurance.
what are you trying to calculate on average? How much insurance is going to run you?
Yeah.
On a 15 year, I know it's typically
No, not
on a 30 year?
not loan insurance, house insurance,
home insurance.
home insurance. Yes, on a rental.
On a rental, I know that mine comes out to being about 20% of the total mortgage.
Oh, really?
20%.
20%. What?
A year.
No,
A year.
a month.
20, okay.
A month.
What do you mean?
Because I'm paying $900 a month, and that's P&I plus escrow. Escrow includes all the insurances, right? So that means I'm paying about $200 in escrow-related expenses, which is property tax
Is that how that works?
and insurance.
You pay your house insurance through escrow?
Yeah.
I don't
Is
know.
that no?
I
have no idea.
Yeah, so
Jinx.
basically your escrow. So like if you think of it, your home insurance is here. I'll get some clarity on this.
That's to be honest. That's what I'm confused about. I don't know how this is paid, but
yeah. Let me just double check this
Really?
real
I
quick.
my mom just pays Farm Bureau, home insurance.
I think my
that
parents
stuff.
do too.
Yeah, so
My mom says it's like
homeowners
3,500
insurance.
a month.
Yeah.
Or 3,500 a year.
3,500 a
That
year.
sounds
So
about
divide that
right.
by 12. That's about 280.
So for like a 175, I think what 1,500 for a 175.
Apparently, Florida is expensive in insurance.
Yeah, hurricane.
Yeah, because the thing
Yeah.
was, I remember when I first bought the house, a good chunk of the closing costs was the home insurance premium. And then the rest of it is escrowed in with the property taxes. So if you look at the $200 a month
So
extra,
did you just pay it up front, the whole insurance?
up front, you
The
do
whole
have to
house
pay a
insurance?
good chunk of property taxes to get you started. You have to pay like 3 months worth of insurance and 3 months worth of property taxes.
Okay.
I might be a
Really?
bit off, but the rest gets escrowed. So if you look at my situation, $706 is P&I every month. But my total amount that gets taken from my checking account every month is about $910. So $204 I pay every month is escrow related expenses, and that covers 3 things: homeowners insurance, property taxes, and then one other thing. I think I can't remember. It's something else. But the whole reason that's escrowed is because, think about it this way: if the state slaps you with a massive
You don't-
property
yeah,
tax,
nobody's gonna pay that.
let's say they slap me with the $1,400 property tax at the end of the year, which could change year to year, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people can't even cover it. So what's the point of doing that? Let's make them pay it up front, and that way they'll have it in a rolling blanket that'll always be
100%,
covered. And that's the
100%.
whole reason they had me pay 3 months up front, because they
Okay.
were like, if he can cover 3 months, if he gets behind, we'll still have
Are
him.
you sure they didn't
Okay.
do the 3 months just because you were late on the 3 months cycle?
No,
when it
they actually made me pay 3 months ahead plus anything I was behind.
started?
So that's why my closing costs were, I think, $5,000-$6,000, and that's with ViStar covering like $2,000 of it.
That's crazy.
So yeah, like, I probably had, and then slap in another $1,000 for the loan.
Yeah, there's no
Fee.
way that most people could just pay $1,000. Like,
But
even
yeah,
to-
the escrow covers what's the third thing it covers? Maybe the homeowner's insurance is optional to be escrowed.
I don't think it is.
But
Unless
if
you pay it off.
Aaron's mom is doing it,
Oh, like if you pay, yes.
Well, my
I
mom-
think you can pay it off all.
I think. See, I don't know because I've
okay, never mind. It's just property taxes and homeowners insurance premiums.
Okay.
Yeah, because
So
think
there you
about
go.
it. If I was paying homeowners insurance, when USAA bills me every month, they only bill me once, and that's for automobile. The rest
Yeah.
of it gets covered through the escrow. So it's kind of
I
like I don't
see.
even see it.
Yeah.
By the way, I got to pay my mortgage.
Okay, but anyways, so I just assume it's 3,500 for annual expenses for,
So I'd say
property, maybe. All right.
But so that house would be more, right? Because it's 175.
How much
Oh, yeah.
rent do you think you can get out of it?
I'd say 1,500.
How much
Brand
rent I
new-
could
I
get out
think-
of this house.
No, the one we're doing the
Oh,
analysis
wow.
on. I think
Steven, that's your area. Let's look at the comps.
1,200?
Let's look at the comps.
I think you could push it 12, 13, low key.
Let's
it
do.
looks nice enough for sure.
Let's do the comps. Let's look up the comps.
How do you know that? You would have to look at. Oh wait, you know what?
Zillow.
I can do the comps on Bigger Pockets.
I can do the comps on them ones.
All right, I'll do Zillow.
Shut
you
up,
do bigger
Steven.
pockets, and then you do.
They
MLS.
have like a whole like.
Steven's
comps-
flexing on us right
They,
now.
I
He's
have
got
I have
all
like
How
a
many
whole
beds?
like
other
comp
shit.
software
How many
on
bed-
the MLS.
How many beds? 2 beds.
It's a 3-bed one. It's a 3-1.
3-1.
The one across the street, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 3-1.
It says here I have $1,195.
What
There's
does
a
that
high
take
one.
into
That's
account?
average. I could probably see it on here. if
I
it's
think
rented
that's the
out.
average for sure. Aaron, I think you can just like say this market, you could push it to 13.
I'd say
14.
I
I
see
think-
one for 14. I say you could do 13
Yeah.
pretty comfortably.
Yeah, so it's
So 13,
it's basically
13.
The average. I usually, to be honest, I usually just do this rent because
Would that be 13 plus utilities or?
No,
No.
not including.
have them pay
Yeah,
for utilities.
That's very normal.
Oh, okay. So okay, gotcha.
So I mean to be conservative, you kind of go. I'd go 12. And you're so.
go 12. Go 12.
What did you get? What did you get?
Go it on a 30 year. Do the loan as on an FHA, right? Oh wait, no, I can't rent out the FHA house, can I?
You can't rent out the FHA.
So put it on a it sucks.
Well, let's just let's
just do it.
Let,
Give me
let's just
cash.
do it.
I have a cash flow of $45 a month. If you were to rent it out for that much, so it's not terror. I mean, like you're profiting, but you're only profiting
My cash flow is a lot bigger because I think
1.37%.
Oh, because like the 10%, man.
Cash on cash return.
Aaron's busting out the big math.
See, but
Cash on cash return.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big.
That's a
Wait,
1.1.
What'd you get?
I have so on a 30-year that house is worth 175 with all the expenses. I have it at $45 a month at $1,200 for rent. So
Okay.
you're barely be profiting. Usually people like to see like at least 100
Really?
monthly cash flow. Yeah.
So with
But it's not terrible because you could if you're not managing if you don't have a management property
that's
management
10% more you're getting.
10% more you're getting. So just get rid of that, and now you're at $165 a month.
So typically the benchmark is $100 a month cash flow.
That's yeah. Really, you want to be profiting. So
you'll really well no, not really. It's really what do you want, right?
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
what
what do
you
you because like if you want to beat the stock market, right? You want to be 10%. Yeah. No. So the average. I know that Chandler David Smith doesn't like going under 10%.
yeah.
But like
So-
if you're okay with getting 7%, cash on cash.
But to be honest, that's at market level value. So the $175. If you were to somehow get it off market for $150 all cash, maybe I don't know.
So
I don't know
like,
how
yeah.
you would get it, but
The goal though is to not buy something completely renovated already, right? The goal is to buy not like a complete remodel.
Profit.
Yeah, exactly. So because the goal is to refinance as soon as possible. So
Yeah.
So you wanna possibly you wanna have to repaint it. You wanna have to put I'd say put 5 to 10,000 in it yourself. That could appraise. That could help that could raise the house value 20,000, like $15,000 to $20,000.
Right.
I also have a 3% interest rate, and you would need almost $35,000 down payment, closing costs, all of that stuff. And that's with zero rehab. That's assuming that you don't have to do anything to it.
Wow. And that's all. What's the monthly payment on that mortgage?
Monthly payment.
Monthly mortgage.
Monthly mortgage is $507, but with everything.
507.
Total expenses. Yeah, $507. Taxes $102. Insurance $102, and then variable. That's all the stuff that we added in. So
I think taxes and insurance might be a bit higher than that. Or is it calculating that for you?
No, I put it in. So $102 a month for both of them. So
that's on a 30-year.
30-year. You're paying $1,000 a month. Just in the expenses,
What's the other 300? So you said 502 for the mortgage, 100 and 100 for the tax, and
so the 360 you're saving in case anything bad happens. So if they so if they break the AC or if they break a window,
so that's just
Yes.
So that's something you guys factor in.
yeah. So that's
we
premise.
factor in that. We factor in vacancies.
Yeah. So
Oh,
He
wow.
put
This is
5%
very
in
conservative.
vacancies.
What's the benchmark number you factor in for just in case money?
just in
20%? It sounds like 20%.
case. What do you mean by that?
Like what percent of the total cost is that 360? Like how much is the benchmark to set aside? Like would you call that 360 again? It was like the just in case money.
Vacancy $60, maintenance $60. This is per month.
Okay, so it's broken down.
Capital expenditures. If you have to replace the roof in like 5 years,
Yeah.
$120 a month. Management fee $120 a month,
And then-
and you're saving that all in like you're saving that to the side.
So you
just
can
in
cut out
case.
that management fee, right?
Yeah. So if
If
you're
I
not
wanted
using a management fee,
$20 in your pocket. My pocket.
yeah. Anyways,
Of which Steven will keep
So,
like
yeah.
60.
now, granted, so all of that stuff. Let's say all of that stuff, and you sell the house in 2 years, all right, and you have no capital expenditures, just minor.
We should have built up a healthy capital expenditures pile.
Yeah.
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 Like a
That's
bunch of
exactly,
money.
and all of that
Well,
you get back.
$1 few grand, you know. And
Yeah, like 10 grand. Sounds like.
Talking to Mike.
I didn't realize you're doing the podcast.
No, actually, hold on.
We're still doing it.
How much of that is capital expenditure? Let's assume you use the maintenance money. I
To
mean,
tell you the truth, I think that's too much.
For what?
that's what I'm saying. It
For
sounds
what?
like a lot of money. Cut out the renters.
Because like so
100, wait, what's too much?
the
120 for capital expenditures.
for the 360.
Okay, how greedy are you though?
Pretty gritty. Because
How
here
much-
here's
Do you
here's
want
kind
to
of the
keep that
thing.
house
So
for a long time?
I'd say cut that in half. and for emergencies, use a credit card. Use a business credit card.
No,
not even joking.
I'm 100% against that. I don't want to do that. If I'm buying this house, I want.
Why
I
isn't
want the
19%
most-
APR better than a 4%?
I want the most.
loan?
I want the most conservative. Most expensive.
Aaron wants to be able to sleep at night, is what it sounds
you know,
like.
it's funny, right? Because like most landlords don't save anything.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying.
Most
like, if you sell
most
it in
landlords
if you sell
pay
it
the
in
mortgage
2
and
years,
pocket the rest. You know?
you sell it.
Chances are you won't run into a capital expenditure.
Exactly. So then you get all your money back if you sell it. But if you don't, if you're like, oh, maybe I'm gonna.
Can
I
you
hold
and
this
like
back?
let's think about it. Like let's say those people, actually the people that owned my house were renting it out before I got here,
Okay.
and they maybe thought 130 was gonna be the most it was ever gonna get to. Maybe they owned it for 2 years. I don't know how long they owned it for, and they were like, oh, we're probably about to come up on some major expense. Air conditioner. That's what I inherit.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and sell it. Keep our capital expenditures. Let's get out of it.
Exactly.
100%.
I mean, I totally see that now.
100%.
But like with the capital expenditures, is it common for like the landlord to where do they house that money? Could they just put it on the stock market in the
Oh,
meantime?
yeah.
They just put it wherever, right?
Yeah, 100%. You
Yeah.
can put it like a conservative.
I mean, like, you just.
You just got to designate it,
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
Okay.
So
I got
technically, you could keep it in the stock market and and get a return out of it.
Right.
I mean,
Hey
like,
man, there you go.
stock market's pretty liquid already. All you have to
You
do
can cash
is-
that out in
it-
less than
is-
like
less than a day, I think.
less than a day. That's liquid. I mean,
That's
That's
as
not
far
what
as I'm
actually. It might be
concerned.
about
A couple days. I mean,
3 days.
whatever. I
maybe.
mean, a roofer takes a week to put the roof in,
Exactly.
so you're not gonna have to
So-
pay him like.
So still, but
Okay,
so
I
that's
didn't know
80%,
that.
That's 80% down though. So
80%.
yeah. So if you do close to like an FHA type of thing,
Oh yeah, it's gonna go up.
it's gonna be a bit different.
Let's say you didn't have that 35K, basically.
Yes.
Which most of these, I mean, I don't know.
Most people don't. Wait, like investors or people, or just like regular?
Dad, investors, I'm guessing, are going to take advantage of the FHA if they can, but they can't rent out the FHA, can they?
Okay, so yes, so say what's like the lowest down payment for a conventional loan? I think I tried.
It's about 10%, right? 10%.
Can you go to 5?
Lowest down payment for
Yeah.
conventional,
10%, I think.
probably 10.
Fun
Wouldn't be
fact:
surprised.
17% of all people that take out FHA loans are investors that own more than 2 houses.
No way.
Yep, 83% are first-time home buyers. 17% are multi-home owners. So it's kind of rare. It's kind of rare.
Now, granted, I lowered the
Well,
the
yeah,
payment.
obviously it's.
I lowered the
Right.
payment amount.
Yeah, but that's us. That's gonna be us.
I lowered the payment amount or how much you're paying, but your monthly cash flows or your monthly expenses are going to go up.
Well, but we're
And then
buying
you
it.
just went in the negative though.
I feel like you almost have to buy
What?
it as a. Sorry.
So you're
Aaron just broke us.
my this thing says now you're negative $65 a month if you do an FHA loan because
So that was the main.
Why?
Break
Wait,
down
why?
the numbers.
Oh, because.
you're
that
paying
mortgage?
more. You're paying more
Yeah.
in a mortgage.
Wait,
What's that
so
mortgage?
tell me your numbers. I kind of want to see.
Aaron's
I know I
so
can't.
conservative with the numbers.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing. And again, you shouldn't buy a new like a completely refurbished house for an investment property.
Okay. I like this. So Aaron's put it in for a very conservative $1,200 a month. We're gonna rent it out for. That's probably gonna be higher. He's also thrown in that we have what's your 13 grand up front.
So
Is that what I'm looking at?
This is 175.
Is it-
175 purchase price at a 95% loan. That's like that's the closest I could.
Because you're putting down 5%.
Yeah, that's the closest thing I could too for an FHA.
Okay. So it won't let you
it's like
free.
3 point. Yeah, I mean, I
so
could probably
this will
type it in.
be a bit higher. Than
30 years, interest rate 3%. Now, granted, if interest rates are 2%, I mean, it doesn't really change all too much.
So what's your monthly mortgage payment, including insurance and taxes?
Down here, mortgage it says 702 right here. So 702, taxes 102, insurance 102, variable expenses 360.
So you're paying $900.
The crazy thing is, I think taxes on a $175,000 house.
It's more than this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you, it's more than this. I was actually surprised they cash flowed straight from the get go.
I don't know what it. Yeah, I'm not
because I never see that because everything I do, it's always negative, and I usually have to lower the purchase price.
Yeah,
but
so if we were to cut out the management fees and we were to get lucky with capex, we could turn this thing into a potential positive $150 a month.
Yeah. So
if we got lucky with the capex and we did it all ourselves.
Yeah, it actually doesn't let me take out the.
So you can definitely see how this works.
400, and then it just turned into a positive number. So 54.
Okay.
But again, like you're putting down, you're putting away $360 that you're not touching.
Well, like I said, how greedy are you, Steven?
That's a 4.73 rate.
Just think. If,
no, 100%.
Okay, let's say that money is yours, right? Just
put
it in your stock, stock market.
So
things like that. That's
put it in your wallet. It doesn't matter.
There's icing on top, Steven.
I know. I agree. No, I just think that I think the cash flow is technically.
Are you Steven? Let's say
so.
Your
like here's
house.
No, here's the thing.
That's a 30%,
so say.
Oh, and then down here I have it has, if you sell it after year 1, your equity in it, loan balance, your cash flow, if you sell it after year 2, what's it worth? That's granted it grows like 7% every year. So this is what it will be like
is that just taking the average return on real estate investments?
Yeah, sort of.
Okay.
So what you paid and you have equity in it in the property after year after year and stuff like that. What's your cash flow, things like that. So
where the number gets cool is when you get into multifamily. That's when it's fun, right?
That's when you're. So let's say you have multiple units in one building.
So all 3 go in on a, what's it called? A double house, a duplex.
So
Duplex,
Aaron,
yeah.
so right now there's a duplex that my partner is listing, $259. The bottom, it's selling for $259. The bottom unit is $1,000 a month. The top unit is $800 a month. They're renting it out as.
Are they making money?
Say okay.
So,
do the calculation on it.
Dude, my house renting out for $1,200 a month is a better return on investment than that.
So do a 10%. Do a 10% conventional. Yeah, I think you're screwed on that.
Because that's not enough, dude. That's $1,800 a month in collected rent on a $259,000 house versus my house is a $1,200.
He didn't buy it at that. Like the owner now didn't buy it at that. That's what it's selling for.
Okay.
And apparently a buyer wants to put $100,000 down on it. What do you think about that?
Wow.
So wait, Steven. So what's that other property?
Probably old.
All right, thank you guys for listening. Episode 7.